Okay, today we're going to look at how we construct and use a scatter graph. A scatter graph is really useful for comparing two variables. So today we're going to be comparing what students scored in a maths test and a spelling test. And the nice thing about a scatter graph is I can compare the two and look for a connection that we call correlation. So I draw one pair of axes, two axes, and on the vertical axis I'm going to plot the maths score, and on the horizontal axis I'm going to plot the score for spelling. So each pair of results is represented by one single point. So the first person scored 7 on the maths, 8 on the spelling, is 7 on the maths, 8 on the spelling, and where those two coincide is where I draw my point. Second person, 8 in maths, 7 in spelling, and so on. 6 in maths and 4 in spelling, 2 in maths, 8 in spelling. This person scored 5 on both, 10 in maths, 9 in spelling, 4 in maths, 3 in spelling, and the final person, the 8th point, scored 3 in both. And hopefully you can see on the graph that we've got a little bit of a pattern here, and we call that correlation. And because there's a relatively strong pattern here, although this person doesn't quite fit, and you might always get that people who don't quite fit the pattern, it's not a perfect pattern, but it's fairly strong. We call this positive correlation because as the spelling score increases, the math score increases too. So this person has got high scores in both, this person quite low scores in both, this person doesn't quite fit. When we've got correlation, we can draw a line of best fit. So we take our ruler and we make sure it follows the pattern as best we can. We try and get approximately the same number of points on either side, and then we draw a straight line all the way through. We don't stop and start at the last point, we draw it as far as we can. And then we can use this line of best fit to predict what could have happened. So we have a follow-up question here. It says predict the math score of a student who scored 6 in the spelling test. So if this student got 6 in the spelling test but missed the math test, if they fit in with the pattern, we can predict what they might have got. It's only a prediction, but it's the best we can do. So we find the 6 on the spelling axis and we draw a line up to the line of best fit, and then we draw a line across to the maths axis, and we see that it comes out at approximately 6. So our best estimate, the math score of a student who scored 6 in the spelling test would be 6. So this is how we can go from raw data into a scatter graph, look for correlation, draw a line of best fit, and then use the scatter graph to make a prediction.